Hi, this is your host Vivien Barnier, and we are here at Open Source Summit in Bilbao, Spain. And today we have with us Vivien Barnier, CEO of EnAccess Foundation. Vivien, it's great to have you on the show.
Hey, yeah, great to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
I would like to just know a bit about the company, why you created it, what problem is it solving?
The EnAccess Foundation is a Dutch-based foundation. It was founded in 2017, but this is before my time at EnAccess. And it was founded to solve a particular problem in the energy access space, which is a particular area where a lot of actors, small companies, larger companies, NGOs, cooperatives, work towards electrifying people and areas which have not been electrified yet. By the fact having all these entities being there trying to solve the problems, we have a lot of entities doing the same job at the same time and coming up with very similar solutions without any exchange. And that's a problem that was identified where we said, okay, we need an entity that pushes open source ideas in the sector so that these efforts are streamlined, particularly because a lot of donor and public donor money is used to do it. So to streamline these efforts and use this money efficiently, the concept was created. We need open source foundations for the infrastructure, and then we can do on top add-ons, plugins, whatever. And that's why EnAccess was created and has over the last years, since 2017, funded and supported several projects from software, hardware, and business models, all open source, which have been used and are used in the sector to, as said, streamline these efforts towards sustainability, so the Sustainable Development Goal 7, which is clean and affordable energy to all.
And then you said a lot of areas which are not electrified. Yeah. Can you give some examples? Also, is it limited to a specific region, country, or is global?
So, I mean, it's mainly focusing, it's not focusing, but it's mainly concerning the African continent and in Asia, even though the largest portion of people being not electrified today are living on the African continent, and it's mainly talking about weather or pretty remote areas with villages or small towns in some cases even, which don't have an own electricity supply connected to the main grid, and where people rely on like diesel generators or not even that, and just living without any electricity.
Which is actually good to hear, because every time I talk to a lot of folks in the LF energy sector, the challenge is that especially this electric energy sector is a bit different in a way. There are only few companies, and they are like dominant player in that space. One country may have just one company at all too, and also standards are so different. Just look at the US versus Europe. One had 10 versus 120, and then you look at African countries or Asian countries. So I always ask them, that the technology that you folks are building, the knowledge, it can benefit the whole world, but there are a lot of limitations. So what do you see about that? The work that companies like Alliand or RT or you folks are doing here in Europe, how the scope of LF energy can go beyond that and help other countries as well.
That's a great point, and that's basically leading to the fact, why are we here? That's about, we are pretty happy there's this sustainability con this time at the summit, and that's where we fit in. And we had our speech yesterday where we showcased to Alliand, you mentioned them, they were at our presentation, to say, look guys, we have these challenges in energy access. They are slightly different, or in some kinds a bit different, or a bit more different from what you are doing, but they're also very similar in a lot of cases. And the great thing about open source, and I think we all agree on that, is that you can change them, you can tweak them, you don't need to use it as it is. You can use it and can use 80% of it, get rid of 20% and make this 20% suitable to your use case. And that's what we want to leverage. We want to leverage the vice versa learning from this energy transition in the industrialized country, where open source is actually pretty much present and used widely by actors like Alliand and others. While in the energy access sector, this is a very nascent sector, and open source is significantly underrepresented. And we are trying to do our work to change that. But we would be happy to have stronger allies from which have their products used and deployed and verified and proven in industrialized settings.
As you are looking at the problem, you said, that you see that open source, is the way to go for. What led you to become part of LF Energy, to join the foundation?
I mean, this was before my time as CEO at EnAccess, so this decision was taken in the past. As far as I see it, it's just a logical, natural, reason to be it, because we stand for energy, for open source in a very particular sector, and we act as a funder and supporter at the same time, and we wanted to open the venue to potentially some of the products and projects that we develop might go for the venue and being an LF Energy product or project, which is not happened today, but I mean, this can come in the future. And on the other side, it's a great network of like-minded open source people where you can learn a lot, you can exchange a lot, and you can create and generate new networks. So this is, for me, it's the most natural way for us to be part of LF Energy. And
can you also talk about in what capacity are you involved with the foundation?
So for how we are involved with LF Energy today, we are currently at the exploration phase where we get to know each other better, where we get to know basically mostly LF Energy, its members, and what LF Energy does, the structures that exist at LF Energy, and the information and networks that we can leverage, the tools that we can leverage, and also what we can contribute. And now slightly moving forwards on the step to create our positioning more clearly within LF Energy and the network.
Talk a bit about the sessions or the talk that you gave here.
I mean, first I was very inspired yesterday morning and today morning by the keynote speeches, which motivated me to hear more of them and definitely engage more and be more at LF Energy summits. And then also our speech that we gave yesterday on showcasing to the LF Energy community and members how we bring open source to energy access and how we leverage open source for energy access, and how we should work much more together with the energy transition entities within LF Energy and the LF Energy ecosystem to bring their know-how and their capacities and knowledge and network to energy access, and vice versa, because we have a lot of learnings from the energy access space that we would love to share and contribute to the energy transition focused folks, and we hope that we can do this vice versa. And we had very interesting discussions, follow-ups after our presentation on that topic.
When we look at LF Energy, the projects that are there, the community that are involved, I see that it goes just beyond the code, it goes beyond just open source, because the larger picture that we are looking at solving the climate change problem, and these companies are at the forefront of that. And when we look at your foundation, you are also bringing access to some communities that don't have access. And I feel that these visions, they do merge, because a lot of countries, the African continent, they have so many resources there, but which are not being properly utilized at this point. I mean, there are a lot of political reasons for that beyond that. But if we look at the larger picture, what will you feel that foundations like LF Energy can play in making this world a better place? It could be from the perspective of climate change, or it could also be from the perspective of making energy more accessible, more affordable, more democratic to a lot of countries which don't have access to it.
This is a great question, and it pretty much targets what we stand for and what is our vision and mission in the space, is to use actually the sad fact that these areas are not electrified yet, and they are not implemented rigid structures and infrastructures and power structures, and we are in a place that we can leverage that to democratize the energy systems as one example. But from there, energy is a basic need for a lot of things, including economic systems. And if we start with democratized and open sourced energy infrastructure, this is a great pathway to generally transformate societies and how economic structures are structured in the spaces. And that's where we believe the LF Energy way of promoting open source and defending open source can be extremely powerful, particularly in these areas where we are working.
Vivien, thank you so much for taking time out today and of course talk about your foundation, LF Energy, the bigger problem, larger problem that you focus solving, and how you are exploring LF Energy and how you are increasing your participation. I'm pretty sure that soon we'll be talking again where we'll talk about a lot of more active participation. But I really appreciate your time today and I look forward to our next conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.